everything feels normal at Heartland, and that's exactly why it's terrifying. The morning air is calm, the horses move gently, and the family follows familiar routines, but there's a strange weight hanging over every moment. It's the kind of silence that comes before life changes forever. No warnings, no dramatic signs, just a feeling that something buried in the past is about to come back. For years, fans believed this chapter was closed, grief was accepted, goodbyes were survived. But Heartland Season 20, Episode 1 dares to ask the one question no one was brave enough to say out loud. What if the story isn't over? What if the man everyone mourned walks back into the life he left behind? Ty Borden's return is not just shocking. It reopens wounds, challenges healing, and forces the entire family to face emotions they thought they had already conquered. Heartland Season 20, Episode 1 begins with a calm that feels almost unnatural. There is no rush, no loud music, no obvious drama. Amy moves through her day with strength she has learned the hard way. She works, she smiles, she stays steady, but something inside her feels unsettled. Years of loss have taught her how to survive, but not how to forget. Every familiar sound at the ranch carries memory, and every quiet moment feels heavier than it should. The past may not be spoken, but it is present in every breath she takes. Around her, the family senses it too. Jack watches the land like it's holding secrets. Lou keeps herself busy, trying to control everything because control feels safer than emotion. Lindy's innocent questions cut deeper than anyone expects, gently reminding Amy that some stories were never finished. The ranch itself feels like it's waiting, like it knows something the family doesn't yet understand. Nothing is said out loud, but everything feels loaded. This episode doesn't rush toward the shock. Instead, it builds tension slowly, letting the audience feel the weight of time, love, and unfinished grief. By the time the possibility of Ty's return begins to form, it doesn't feel impossible. It feels inevitable. Like Heartland itself, has been holding its breath for years, waiting for the moment when the past finally steps back into the present. The tension reaches a breaking point when the impossible slowly becomes real. There is no dramatic announcement, no clear explanation at first, just a moment that doesn't make sense. A familiar presence. A voice that shouldn't exist anymore. Time seems to hesitate as reality struggles to catch up. When Ty Borden steps back into the world he left behind, the shock isn't loud. It's paralyzing. The air feels heavier. The silence becomes unbearable. Amy is the first to feel it. Her body reacts before her mind can. She freezes, caught between disbelief and memory. This is the man she loved, the man she buried, the man she taught herself to live without. Years of strength begin to crack in seconds. Her heart races, her breath trembles, and the walls she built so carefully start to fall apart. This isn't just shock, it's grief colliding with hope in the most painful way possible. Ty doesn't rush toward her. He doesn't interrupt the moment. His presence alone is enough to shake everything Amy believed was settled. There's regret in his eyes, fear in his silence, and a deep understanding of the damage his absence caused. He knows he isn't just returning to a place, he's returning to wounds that never truly healed. As word spreads through the ranch, the emotional weight multiplies. This isn't a miracle that instantly fixes everything. It's a question mark standing in the middle of a family that learned how to survive loss. Ty's return forces everyone to face the truth they avoided for years. Moving on never meant forgetting. And now, the past isn't a memory anymore. It's standing right in front of them, asking to be seen. Ty's return doesn't belong to Amy alone. It sends shockwaves through the entire Heartland family, and each reaction reveals a different kind of pain, love, and fear. Lou is the first to step into control mode, because that's how she survives moments she can't emotionally manage. She studies Ty carefully, not with anger, but with worry. She has watched Amy rebuild herself piece by piece, and the thought of that strength being shattered again terrifies her. Lou doesn't ask the questions burning in her chest. Instead, she watches, calculating whether this return will heal her sister or break her all over again. Jack's reaction is quieter, but heavier. He doesn't rush forward, and he doesn't step away. He simply looks at Ty with the eyes of a man who understands loss better than anyone else in the room. Jack has learned that life doesn't always follow fair rules. When he finally speaks, his words carry the weight of acceptance. Not because the pain didn't matter, but because holding on to resentment never saved anyone. His calm presence grounds the family when emotions threaten to spiral. Lindy's response is the most unexpected. She doesn't carry grief the way the adults do. She carries instinct. There is no fear in her eyes, only curiosity and a quiet sense of recognition she can't explain. Her gentle connection to Ty cracks open something fragile in everyone watching. For Amy, it's almost too much to bear. Lindy becomes a living reminder of everything that was lost and everything that might still be possible. Even Tim reacts in his own guarded way. Sarcasm masks emotion, but his stance says enough. He stands there, firm and present, signaling that Ty's return is complicated, but not rejected. In this moment, the family realizes something powerful. Ty's return isn't reopening just one wound, it's touching every scar Heartland has learned to live with. Yes, from the eyes of the family, the emotional core of the episode finally unfolds. When Amy and Ty are alone, the silence between them speaks louder than any argument ever could. This is not a romantic reunion filled with easy words or instant forgiveness. It is raw, uncomfortable, and painfully honest. Years of distance sit between them, heavy with regret, unanswered questions, and emotions neither of them truly faced. Ty is the first to break the silence, not with excuses, but with truth. He admits the fear that drove him away, the weight of knowing he was missing moments he could never get back, and the guilt that never stopped following him. His voice carries regret, but also responsibility. He knows his return doesn't erase the damage. He isn't asking for anything. He's standing there because running is no longer an option. Amy listens, and when she finally speaks, her strength trembles. She talks about the night she cried alone, the pressure of being strong for Lindy, and the way she forced herself to keep moving because stopping felt impossible. She admits something she never allowed herself to say out loud. She never stopped loving him, but she learned how to survive without him. That truth hurts more than anger ever could. There are long pauses where words fail. Tears replace explanations, and in those quiet moments, the episode makes something clear. This conversation isn't about fixing the past. It's about finally facing it. Healing doesn't begin with forgiveness. It begins with honesty. And for the first time, both Amy and Ty are brave enough to stay present in the pain instead of running from INING. The episode closes with a moment that feels simple on the surface, yet carries enormous emotional weight. The Heartland family gathers together, not to celebrate, not to explain, but to exist in the same space again. Ty's presence changes everything without saying a word. The room feels careful, almost fragile, as if everyone understands how easily this moment could fall apart. Amy keeps her distance at first, her emotions still too close to the surface. Lindy, however, moves freely, smiling without fear, easing tension without trying. Jack watches quietly, understanding that this moment isn't about answers, it's about willingness. Lou keeps the conversation light, protecting Amy while slowly allowing hope to enter the room. Georgie listens, her calm presence reflecting how much she has grown. Even Tim softens, just enough to show that beneath his tough exterior, family still comes first. This isn't a happy ending. It's something far more powerful. It's a beginning built on honesty instead of denial. Ty's return doesn't magically heal the past, but it opens the door to possibility. Heartland. Season 20, Episode 1 reminds us why this story has lasted so long. Love doesn't disappear, family doesn't give up. And sometimes, the most shocking returns aren't meant to erase pain, but to teach us how to live with it. Together. The question now isn't whether